Truth. Today I've got a very special guest, my daughter Gabrielle. She does have her own YouTube channel. It's Plant Strong Gabby. Today I want to talk about something that's affected both of us since she's been born. We get asked quite often different questions on whether Gabrielle's adopted, where does she come from, is she Australian, all sorts of things. And we just want to talk about how it's affected us over the years. So I'm going to start with you, Gabs.
Yeah.
Are you my daughter?
Yes. You can kind of tell if we're close together.
Yeah, she's definitely my daughter. She's my baby. I had her. I was there. She's definitely mine. Yes. So, why do people ask us different questions on whether or not we're related? And
because our skin colour is different.
It is. Our skin colour's different. Gabrielle's father is half Indonesian, half Arabic, and I'm probably what you'd call a bitzer, as most people are in Australia. We're bitzers. My father's of Swedish origin, but he was born in Australia. My ancestors are Swedish, and my mother was born in England, so she's English, but I personally was born in Australia. So I class myself as Australian. Do you class yourself as Australian?
Yeah, we were only talking about this before, and I was just saying, everybody always stops if I say, oh, I'm Australian. They're kind of like, no, but really? And then I was just saying to Mum, well, what really is an Australian these days? Like, what are we classing as an Australian? Just a white person? Like, anybody can be Australian because we're so multicultural now. So sometimes it's a bit annoying when people say, oh, so what are you? And I guess like it's something that I've grown up with going, okay, like when I was younger, I would get upset, like, I'm Australian, like, or I would get confused as to why people are asking me, like, what, like, why are you different to your mum? I would get confused, but then as I've grown, I've just kind of learnt to go, oh, I'm half Australian, half Indonesian, and like just had to say it like that. But it is really annoying sometimes.
And it's hurtful. I mean, for me as a mother, over the years, it's been hurtful. I mean, both you and my son Jacob, you've bore witness to racial taunts over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of stupid that you have to say this, but like I'm just kind of used to it, so I don't really take it personally, but it's just more annoying than anything. But I don't really take it personally now.
Yeah. But for me as a mother, it's been really hurtful over the years. I remember when in Sydney the whole
Lint
chocolate, there
so
was
worried.
terrorism, and I was worried for my kids, and I'm saying, no, you're not going to catch a bus, because there was a lot of racism going on in Australia, and I'm like, you can't catch the bus, Gabby, I'm going to drive you to
like
work.
if I didn't talk, people would just presume that I'm like from a different country or something. But I'm bloody Aussie.
And yeah, I worry about different things, but I remember there was something else that went on. The boxer who's Aboriginal. I can't remember his name. I'll put it on there once I remember. But he was saying that Australians are racist. And a girl that I'm friends with, I've known for a long time. I went to school with her sister. I've lived with this particular girl. She lived with me when we were younger. And she put a status up on Facebook, and she said, I'm sick of Australians carrying on about racism because there's no racism in Australia. No one's really racist. And I actually wrote to her and I said, Australians are very racist. I said, you don't notice it because your kids are pure white. You haven't dealt with it, but I've had my children come home in tears over the years, especially Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob hurt. I think he was torn, and he's lighter in skin than you.
Yeah.
I think he suffered more racial attacks than you over the years.
Yeah.
And it's really, as a mother, it is so hurtful because you don't know what you can do. I mean, especially I'm a bit of a psycho mum. Don't hurt my children. But it is hurtful, and it's even hurtful, like the other day, a couple of the vegans that are here in Thailand, they even said to me, someone said, oh, that's Gabby's mum. They said, oh, Gabby's mum. And then they asked me, is she adopted? I'm like, no, she's mine. She's mine. And I mean, I don't get hurt by it. We have been asked this question many times, and it's because the obvious skin colour. But what is skin colour? For me, I don't see skin colour. I never have my whole life. Obviously, that's how I ended up with mixed race children. But I don't see skin colour, and there's such a stigma about it. And there's also this thing that people think it's their right to ask you where you come from.
Yeah. I remember when I worked like in a fast food chain, and people would just come to like get their food, and they'd just stop and ask me where I was from, and I was just thinking, why can't you just get your food? And it just became like a regular thing, so I was just so used to like, oh yeah, I'm from here. So,
but it has annoyed you over the years.
It does get annoying because, like, say for example, the other day a group of my friends and I went into a shop, and somebody asked like, oh, where are you guys from? And we all said Australia because we're all from Australia. But then if you look at the four of us, there was four of us, we actually all have different backgrounds. Like one of them's like South African, but he grew up in New Zealand, then came to Australia. He just said he was Australian. Like my boyfriend, he's like got different backgrounds, but he's white, so he just said Australia. And then my other friend Carly, she just said Australia. And then I said Australia, and I was like, no, but really, where are you from? And so it's like a bit like I'm like the odd one out. Oh, okay, I'm from here.
Yeah, and you feel like, you know, people are pressuring you to say you're from somewhere else.
Yeah.
When
I was growing up in Australia. I was born in Australia.
Yeah.
I am, like, for me, I think I'm Australian. I am Australian to me. And, yeah, it's a bit annoying when I have to be different. And, like, I don't actually see myself as different. Like, when I'm around other people in my skin colour, and even if I was the only person with my skin colour in a room, I wouldn't feel different until somebody says, oh, so where are you from? Like, until someone makes a comment, it makes you feel different. But whereas if you're in a place where you don't feel different until someone says something, it's like it gets annoying because you didn't feel different until someone said something.
When you were little, I think it was a thing more so because kids just say whatever they blurt out.
Yeah.
And kids would quite often, especially if they'd seen me, they would ask you questions, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd be like, why is your mum white? Or they'd get confused, I guess. And then as a little kid, you don't really know how to deal with it, so I just kind of get really shy or awkward. And normally I'm not a shy person, but that's something that I have always felt shy about. And yeah.
And I want to talk to you about this, and I think it's really, really important because I know you love yourself, not as in love yourself, but you love who you are now.
Yeah. But
something you struggled with throughout your life, you quite often when you were little used to say to me, I wish I had skin like you, Mum.
Yeah,
and I've always said to you, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
I've always said, why? You're beautiful.
And then I would always just say, yeah, but that's because you're my mum. And then as I've grown older, I've just like, I love my skin. Like all my friends here in Thailand are getting burnt. I'm just getting darker, and I think I'd rather that than go like a beetroot. So I'm just learning, like, you kind of just have to, like, this is my skin colour, so I've got to learn to, you know, work with what I've got and deal with my skin. If I don't like it, I can't change it. I mean, I guess I could do it. Michael Jackson.
No Michael Jackson happening. How did you start growing to accept your skin colour, Gabrielle?
I just guess I got sick of, you know, just like feeling like, I don't know, I always just felt sometimes when I'd hear those comments or I'd go, oh, but now I'm just learning, like, I do love my skin colour, like it's different, and other people always say, oh, I love your skin colour, I wish I was that, or like for like getting tanner rather than burning, and just sometimes it's good, like my skin colour is unique, and also it's kind of cool like tripping people out because they'd presume that I'd have like, I don't know, from another country and I come out with an Aussie accent, so that's kind of cool. And there's no changing it, so it's better to love what you've got than stress over changing something that you can't. Yeah.
I agree. I'm just going to talk about it on my perspective as a mum. I never really understood racism much at all. I've never felt it because growing up white, you do not feel racism. No. And the first time I ever witnessed racism was actually when I was pregnant with Jacob. I was working and I'd gone into a shop to organise something, and the shopkeeper was talking to me and I was telling her about my pregnancy, blah, blah, blah. And I must have mentioned that his father is Indonesian, and she screwed up her face, she screwed up her nose, and she said to me, "Oh, so your baby's going to be half Asian," and looked at me like I was so dirty. And that was the first time I ever witnessed it firsthand, and it hurt so much. And I've learnt to have thick skin over the years as well, because as a mother, when your children are taunted, when you witness other people saying different things about your children, it hurts so much. And people have made comments too about my personal relationships, and they've said, "Oh, so you've been with an Asian," really horrible things that I've had said to me. And it makes me realise just how far we have to go as a society. And the reason I wanted to do this on my channel is to, one, showcase that families come in all different shapes and colours and sizes, and it doesn't matter. And the other reason I wanted to, if you're watching this and you're curious about people's backgrounds, where they come from, whether they're adopted or whatever, don't just come straight out and say bang.
Yeah.
Because it's really...
It's like, I feel when people say it like straight out, it's like, I don't even know you. Exactly. And for sometimes, like, it's personal information. Like, you wouldn't just, like, ask somebody personal information when you didn't know them. So just kind of sense it. Like, if you chat to them for a little while and they go, "Oh, so whereabouts where are you from?" Or, like, "What's your nationality?" Like, obviously, if someone says, "Oh, I'm Australian or American," or something like that, and they look a bit different, just say, "Oh, okay, so what nationality are you?" or something like that. I hate it when people just said, "Oh, hi," and they go, "Oh, so where are you from?" Yeah. It's like, I just said hello to you.
I know. I mean, I've had it too, especially like I'd have the two of you kids in your prams.
Yeah.
And, and people would say, "Oh, are they yours? Did you adopt them?" Or I'd get, "Oh, well done, you adopted," like I was like this hero. I'm like, no, they're my baby. I mean, not that if you adopt, they're not your children, but they're my flesh and blood. I gave birth to them. I love them, obviously.
And also, like, something that, like, somebody said to me the other day, "Oh, I don't think there's much racism." Like, they just kind of blind it because for you, and if you're not personally, or you don't know someone that's personally getting, like, those little attacks, it's not an attack or something like that. It's just like things that you don't think of personally. So if you've never experienced, or you don't think it's racist to ask somebody, just like put yourself in their shoes and just think, "Oh, okay, so maybe there is, or there's certain things that other people might find a bit upsetting." Just like have a think about that, because not many people think, they just don't really think anything of it, and that it is to some people a big deal. Because, like, say for example, when I was self-conscious about my skin, that really hurt my feelings. Whereas now I don't really care that much. It's a bit annoying, but just think about it, because certain people could be sensitive about it.
And especially, I think when you're younger, and I know Jacob, he had a lot of trouble. I mean, he was called like Chinese Buddha.
Yeah,
so he had a little chubby. He was a chubby kid as well, and they called him like a Chinese Buddha and different things like that. And then he wanted to dye his hair orange, and then he got called an Indonesian orangutan, and different things that were really, really hurtful. And people have to think what they say, and I mean, they're children, but children hear it from their parents. Children are not born racist. I've watched children of all different ages, they play together and they love each other automatically. They don't see the colour. Yeah. We are taught to be racist. Yeah. And even when you think you're not being racist or prejudiced against somebody, you've just got to be cautious what you say, because it is hurtful and you don't know what they've been through throughout their whole lifetime. And there are certain sensitivities there. And even like for me as a mother, I mean, I've grown very broad shoulders. I've got broad shoulders anyhow. But even for me as a mother, just be careful what you're saying to families when you're asking about the diversity in their families, because sometimes you can say things a lot more subtly than just coming out going, "Are you guys related? Are you really mum and daughter?"
Or even like when people say that, what if I was adopted? but like it wasn't really talked about that much.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, am I adopted? Because
Awkward.
obviously I would have grown up thinking, oh yeah, I'm the same.
Exactly. And I think as a society we put too much of a stigma on adoption, on families, on colour. And so many families are so different these days anyway. When you have your Brady Bunch families, you never know what's mixed up with what anyway. I just think, you know what, get to know the people, and bit by bit, everyone shares.
Everyone is same but different.
Yeah, that's what they say in Thailand. But everyone eventually does share, you know, their stories and everything. But we just thought that we'd put this up here and have a little chat about how it's sort of affected us in our family and how Gabrielle's grown, because it was a big thing for her. You know, her skin colour was a big thing, and she's grown and learned that it is what it is.
Yeah.
And she is very beautiful, and you know, skin is just one part of something. And I often say this to people, you know, we all go to the toilet, we all feel love, we all feel shame, we all cry, we
have all the same like makeup underneath.
Absolutely.
Skin is like, it's just skin really.
It's just one part of us.
Yeah.
It's just one
We're all the same. If you all stripped everybody off, we're all the same.
Exactly. And, you know, you look at dogs, they don't look at each other differently. Or do they?
Well,
she's a dog-like expert.
They don't look at each other differently, but I have noticed from my time working with dogs, certain dogs, like, say, for example, golden retrievers will like gravitate towards golden retrievers. So
there's a bit of prejudicial.
Yeah, and some dogs
the
don't like certain dogs, so... But maybe that's just their family brought them up. Like, no, I don't know.
Well, you know what though? I've seen pigs with dogs.
Yeah.
I've seen different animals interact, and you do see other dogs, and obviously we see other human beings interact with other human beings, but I quite often say this: scratch the surface on anyone's skin and you'll find a racist. And I hate saying that, and I hate putting it out there saying that, but that's the harsh reality. And I've seen a lot of racism, and I've felt it, and I've, you know, firsthand. And I just think, you know, if you want to start being the change that, you know, you want to see in this world, just start thinking about how you talk and interact with other people, especially of different races and whatever, and let them tell you, because they will. You don't, and if it's a complete stranger, you don't need to know everything about them, because by tomorrow, I don't think that guy who asked you where you're from really interested in you anyway.
Exactly.
So you don't need to know everything, you know, just be really cautious. So that's my outtake on it. Have you got anything else to say about it, Gaz?
I think that's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah.
Just be kind.
It's nice to be nice.
It is. It's nice to be nice. Well, I hope you like this video. You can find my daughter at Plant Strong Gabby on YouTube and also on Instagram at the same name. Give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments. If you've got diversity in your family or different, you know, things happening in your family, let me know.
Or if this video made you aware of it,
let me know too. Absolutely. Subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, what's my last line, Gab?
Live free.
Love life and live free. Bye for now.
Different strokes it takes. Different strokes it takes.